You hear a lot about the why in organizations, why people are doing what they're doing, why the organization's structured, how it's structured, why the organization's doing what it's doing. I want to talk to you today about the how. One day I was in my organization thinking about, okay, we have the why and our vision values. How do we get this done? That's what I want to talk to you about today. Our vision foundations and the how in business. So September 2020, I am getting ready to bring on some new people in my organization, and I've gone through rounds of interviews through the summer, and I'm just kind of like ready for something new, ready for a new situation. And it dawned on me that I didn't necessarily have a program that was going to shape and guide our values, shape and guide culture. And so I reached out to a buddy of mine and we started talking. We were talking for months, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, it's time. I don't want to start these new people who are super promising and felt like we could do some amazing things. And I just felt like, all right, if I'm going to roll it out, now would be the time. I had been dealing in business. Hey, culture's either being set for you or you are setting culture. It's either on purpose or by accident. So you got to figure out how you want this to roll for you and your organization. And so I was tired of doing things on accident. I was tired of things happening to me just because I didn't do anything to make things happen for me. And so we started looking at the organization, started looking at what would be a way for us to bring in some values that we can live by, values that we can talk about, values that we can grow by, values that we can value. And I started what was called our vision values at the time. And so I start listing these values, and I start listing these things that are near and dear to my heart. And I made it to 7: love, integrity, gratitude, happiness, teamwork, service, and execution. And these things really embodied where we were going. And I said, hey, this is the company I see. Our vision, and these are our values, vision values. And so as we're going along, we're communicating the values, we're communicating we have a program to get the values in. We don't just have plaques on a wall for the values or just them tattooed on the walls. We talk about it. We read them before every meeting. We have a vision value of each month. We have a vision value activity for every month. We have a vision value winner of every month, voted on by their peers. Who was the most happy? Who exhibited the most love? Who exhibited the most service? Who executed the most for the month? Whatever the month is. And we're rolling, and it feels good. It feels great. And I find myself wanting to go a step further. Okay, we defined why. Now we need to define how. Because it dawned on me that this stuff that I'm about to go through with you, what I dubbed our vision foundations, were very simple things, but kept getting botched. Again, I'm the leader. My fault. I'm the leader. I got to create a solution. Cool? So I got into these 4 foundations that I think could help set any company on the right path. And I wanted to share them with you today. Number 1 is the clock. You go, makes sense, Mark. It's just a clock. I go, that thing runs the whole world. Time runs the world. If we're misutilizing time, we're in trouble. Now, if I'm misutilizing time as a leader, I need to fix me, no problem. But if my organization's misutilizing time, I gotta fix the organization. So if I don't clearly define what this looks like and how we should operate in flow, cross-departmental, inside departments, in proximity, we need to know these things. So I created the clock. Controlling your positional clock to conceptualize proximity to meetings, deadlines, and your servitude towards others. Makes sense. Not deep at all. But hey, this thing runs the world, and we need to value other people's time. Servitude towards others. Deadlines, proximity to meetings. Listen, I'm sometimes the butcher. You know, I get pulled out of a meeting, I get jumped on, I get a call that comes in that's urgent, I gotta push stuff around. Sometimes I'm the butcher. And I do my best not to be, but I know if the organization, if departments are running well, if people inside the departments understand, hey, the meetings start on time. Meetings start on time. No big deal. Because what happens is if you don't start setting this, you go, oh, that's just the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, if no one's saying it, it doesn't matter what it's supposed to be. Then you got people complaining that it's never that. Okay. So it's like, let's just clearly define the lines here and help people understand how passionate we are about this. Number 2, the calendar. The second C, projecting future deliverables 30 to 90 days ahead of schedule, being an intentional planner through the use of a calendar. This is massive. You talk about setting meetings on a calendar, huge. Making sure everyone who belongs in the meeting gets the meeting invite, huge. You go, that's simple. I know, dude. That's why they're foundations. Foundations are simple. You don't set the right foundation, the whole building collapses. We're not confused by this. These are the things that we can't live without. And when we think we're too awesome to focus on them, because there's some people that this is the way they're wired, and some people they're not. So we want to work towards the lowest common denominator, try to work to help people grow. And so when I thought about this, and I think about how passionate I am about 30, 60, 90 days out, I think it's really important that we can get the organization to believe that and think that. And now we got the clock and the calendar. And so whenever I'm doing meetings that involve planning, or I'm with my executive assistant, we're going over planning, or even with my wife now in the house, I call them clock calendar meetings. That means, hey, we're going through day by day, hour by hour, where are things going, what's slotting, we're planning, content release dates, we're planning meetings, team outings. Look, the clock and the calendar, man, I'm telling you, man, it is gold. Now, again, it seems rudimentary, but when you start communicating to every single person in your organization that these are foundations that we don't want to mess with, that these are things we live by, it starts to become gospel inside your deal, and that is the real key here. Number 3, the hardest of them all, that everyone thinks they do, but somehow, some way, communication is being botched all the time. People think they're communicating and nobody heard them, or they didn't listen, or they didn't write it down, or they didn't follow, or they missed half the words. Oh my gosh, it hurts. And so I know what this looks like when done well, and I know what this looks like when it needs work. And obviously I've been through both. And so I wanted to clearly define what communication looks like inside of an organization, something we can live by, something we can honor, something we can value towards one another. And here's what we got. We said that communication is over communication is key in most circumstances and will allow you as a member of this team to build stronger working relationships and execute tasks individually, as well as within the unit. Communication is a form of love, and love conquers all. Whoa. We know that if we can communicate well and we can over communicate, like I think you have some people in your organization, we call them bullet people. They just want the bullets. Issue with bullet people, they also talk in bullets. And so the thing they want is how they communicate, and they want everyone to communicate in bullets. They don't want drawn out. They don't want over communicate. They just want bullets. Here's the problem. When you're going to talk to someone else that actually needs over communication, you're giving them bullets, they're lost. So they come in with a lot of questions, a lot of this, a lot of that. They're trying to figure it out, but you're so busy, so excited to communicate only the way you communicate, and you're missing half the room. Half the room is checking out, and I'm okay with it. And then you have the people that believe that whether you are an over communicator in your personal life, your business life, whatever, can we agree that if you over communicate, we are communicating to the lowest common denominator? That means if they're listening, they're getting it. Doesn't mean they're listening, but if they're listening, they're getting it, right? And so that's how we want to try to communicate, where if we can get this thing so that everybody can talk and make sure that I's are dotted, T's are crossed. These are great teachers. The best teachers you ever had communicated at a level that you could understand. And some people are way smarter, more put together than others, and some people need it. But understand, if we can all agree, that was the deal behind communication. Can we all agree that over communicating will help us get there faster? Less steps, less backing up, less picking up stuff that fell, less. And that actually equals speed. You go, well, it takes you too long to communicate, or it took too long for you to say that. Hey, I don't need to talk about this one simple minute. And by the way, I'm talking about long term. And so when we get into this in communication, and we realize that communication will build up all the members of the team, over communicating will build up all the members of the team, we start winning. Now, when you start communicating well with your team members, automatically you get chemistry. Right? Because that's when, see, the chemistry is where the bullet people can talk to bullet people. And they don't have to say it, they know, because they have chemistry. Right? Chemistry is the ability to anticipate one another's needs. Chemistry equals thoughtfulness, which equals generosity. It is the essential ingredient to effective teamwork. The greatest teams exhibit the greatest chemistry. Woo, baby. All I ever wanted was some chemistry. That's all I want with my team members. That's all I want with my direct reports. That's all I want with my managers, my leaders. That's all I want inside departments. I want people to communicate. That's all I want cross-departmentally. I just want people to communicate well enough so that if we work together a lot, hey, let's develop some chemistry because we're gonna get this thing rolling. Hey, I know you got this because we've been working well long enough, and you know I got this. That's chemistry. I could look at you and know what you're thinking. Sometimes. That's chemistry. You know how I want a certain thing. That's chemistry. I know how you want a certain thing. That's chemistry. Boy, does it aid an organization in great heights when you can communicate really well and you can create chemistry. So in conclusion, we think that the 4 C's create the kind of foundation, the kind of bedrock that allows organizations to thrive and not shake. And when we weren't communicating this, we would always shake. We would always stumble and fall and figure out why. Because this stuff seems so rudimentary that people overlook it. They're too awesome. We found out the hard way. We said, all right, wait, why is this happening? Clock, calendar, communication, chemistry, the vision foundations, the 4 C's. You can utilize this in your business. I do believe it'll give you the rock foundation you're looking for. And I do believe it'll help your organization grow if you stay in it. The thing about foundations, blocking, tackling in football, you got to do that stuff well, a long time. And when everyone on the team is blocking and tackling, game over. Because you know what most teams don't want to do? Block and tackle. They don't want highlight reels. They want to grab one-hand balls. They want to hit the guy with their elbow and knock him out with his shoulder and knock him out when you just need to wrap the guy. The block, just basics. Blocking, it's all basics. There's blocking and tackling, but they're foundations. Foundations never shatter. I hope this provides value. I hope this brings clarity to you, and I hope you're able to see this and utilize this inside your organization conceptually, however you want to do it. But this is gospel in my organizations. It's done us wonders. Hope this brings you value. God bless. If you like this kind of content, click here. There's more valuable content similarly to this. And if you like that kind of content, click over here. We're trying to create a web of content that allows you to become better as an entrepreneur, small business owner, and grow your business to a medium business size, and you can continue to crush it in your field.